Hi everyone and welcome to episode 131 of the Talk is Cheap show. We've got another great show lined up for you today, but without any further ado, let me introduce my special guest there. Well, he's not special guest because he's on every week, but he's still special.
He's still special.
He is, absolutely. My co-host, show analyst, former professional footballer, social media influencer and icon, Mr. 50k subscribers, none other than Curtis Shaw of Curtis Shaw TV in the house. What are you saying, bro?
What's happening, bro?
What's going on, bro?
It's hot outside, isn't it?
Oh, you know what, man? It's last night. It was very humid, man.
Yeah,
I woke up this morning covered in sweat. But hey, how you been keeping?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just, looking forward to the season starting and,
Big
getting
teams.
down to the big games.
All the talking is over now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
sort
it.
of getting to that stage, man. But we're gonna expand on that a bit later on in the show. But those of you who watch the show regularly will know that we always kick things off with what we call our news and notes, which is any items, matters that are topical, things being spoken about in football at the moment. And I guess when it comes to news and notes, there's only one real story in town to start with, isn't it? And that's the success of the England women's football team, who over the weekend won the Euros in front of a record crowd at Wembley. I think it's a record crowd for any major competition. 2-1 win. Got the winner in extra time, Chloe Kelly. I'm going to have to offer a disclaimer here. I didn't see the game because I'm sort of involved in the management of the AFTV FC football team, and we had a game at that time. So, but Curtis, did you watch the game or did you catch up
I had
with
it on. I caught it after about just before half time. I got it on. And listen, I think there was 87,000 people.
Yeah, it was a record crowd.
Unbelievable and
crowd at
obviously
Wembley.
Great for them to win. And you kind of hope it inspires the next generation of girls.
Absolutely.
That they can get involved in football and do what these players have done. So yeah,
Was it a good game?
It was entertaining. Yeah, it was entertaining. I think they were tiring, obviously, in extra time. And then, listen, you don't care how you get the winning goal, little scrappy one,
Yeah, I saw the goal. It was a bit scrappy.
The first goal was very good, though. Little chip over the goalkeeper, man. Loved that finish.
What would you say about the quality overall? I mean, I know you didn't watch all the games, but from what you saw, could you...
I do think it's improving. I've got to be honest. I think the women's game is improving. They have more professional players now. So I think it all takes time, don't it? And I think, the more professional players and clubs they get, then I think the standard will get better and better.
And I think the good thing for the nation is that obviously the women doing so well has sort of got everyone behind it. Hoping that they inspire the men's team.
Oh yeah, hopefully. You know what I mean?
So hopefully you can get 2 major tournament wins. I think that was the first major tournament success for England in 56 years. I mean, I know some of the under 21s and 19s have won stuff, but for a major competition, first one in 56 years. So let's hope that trend continues. Right, okay then, well done to the women then. We should mention the sad, unfortunate passing of Terry Neal, former Arsenal player, captain and manager. He passed away. In fact, he passed away last week. We only found out about his passing. That was well after we recorded last week's show. Some people had actually said why we didn't mention it. Well, the reason we didn't mention it last week is because when we recorded the show, which was in the morning, we hadn't yet heard of his passing. So so Terry Neal, let's face it, Arsenal legend, former player, captain, manager. I think he managed Arsenal to 3 consecutive FA Cup finals, 78, 79 and 80. I think 79 we beat Man United. He also got us to a European Cup in 1980. I mean, I know it's a little bit before your time.
Yeah, no, listen, I did a little bit of research, obviously. I knew a little bit about him, but I've looked back and obviously...
Good player. And obviously very sad.
Yeah, very.
So our condolences go out to his family, friends and anyone who knew him. Arsenal legend passing away. Moving on. Transfer activity for Arsenal. Couple of things to note here. Nuno Tavares. We discussed him last week, didn't we? I
said he needed a loan, didn't I? You know what I mean?
To be fair, you got it right. You said he needed some loan time. I said I'd rather them keep faith in him and give him some game time here and develop him as a player. But it sounds like they were listening to you rather than me. But yeah, he's gone to Marseille. Apparently he's made a good start. His first game.
The interesting thing was, I think he nearly got sent off. He clattered someone, and then I think it went to VAR. They overturned it.
Right.
But he did like a little piece of skill in the game that went viral, little nutmeg.
Yeah.
So listen, best of luck to him. I think we've all said it. You can see this talent. He's a natural athlete.
Definitely.
It's just about maturing, learning that defensive side of his game. And listen, Marseille, you know, Guendouzi went there, did well. Saliba obviously did well. They're in the Champions League, so it's a little bit of an upgrade in terms of the competition. So listen, if he can develop there, hopefully he comes back in a year a better player.
Yeah, listen, man, I hope it goes well for him. I've said from the outset, I see things in that guy that if we can harness that, improve it on his, you know, his decision making and stuff like that, he can be a quality player for us. So I wish him all the best. Like I said, from the research that I was able to look up, it seemed like he made a decent start, and like you said, he had that viral clip when he went on a little run and so forth. So, but yeah, let's hope it goes well for him. Bernd Leno.
Yeah.
Looks like he'll be on his way to Fulham for a fee for $8 million. We have discussed this on the show previously about the possibility of him going to Fulham. Now looks like it's going to happen. Your thoughts on that move?
Listen,
is it a good move for him?
It's not a bad move for him. Listen, I'm surprised he's not going somewhere higher in the league, but clearly there aren't many clubs making offers for him. I think 8 million seems a little bit cheap.
It does.
You know, 30 years old is not that old for a goalkeeper, German international coming from Arsenal. But at the same time, I think he earns about 100 grand a week, hasn't played regularly for us. So I think for everybody, he needs a new club. We wanted to move him on. Personally, I would have liked to have kept him because I'm still not sure about Matt Turner at this moment in time. But listen, it's
you had a little name for Matt Turner.
Tina Turner. Listen, man, Tina Turner was an icon, mate. If he reaches them levels, well, listen, you know, social media is not always made for sarcasm.
Yeah, so social media can be a cruel place,
especially Twitter. So I'm not sure they receive that.
Well, Tina Turner was simply the best. So hopefully it's a positive moniker rather than, you know what I mean?
There you go. But listen, good luck to Leno. I think he was a good keeper.
Yeah, I liked Leno, man. I thought he was a very good keeper.
Yeah.
And like you, kind of surprised he never got a so-called bigger club. Yeah. But then having said that, at Fulham, I'd imagine he'll play every week.
Yeah.
He'll be the main man there. And so in that way, it's a good move for him because he wants regular football, still in the Premiership. He wanted to stay in London apparently as well. So, you know, I think it works out for him. And I wish him well.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously when he plays Arsenal, we don't want him to
don't play too well, yeah.
But I mean, I do wish him well. Seems like a nice guy as well.
Yeah.
Big up to Bernd Leno. And just one last thing I wanted to ask you about with relation to news and notes. I'm aware that the Premier League captains are holding a meeting in the next day or two to discuss whether they should carry on taking the knee for the forthcoming season, which starts this weekend. Let me start with you, because I've got some thoughts on this, but I want to just hear your thoughts. Do you think it should be something that's retained for this season?
For me, I would stop doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Listen, I'm all
for talking to Wilfred Zara.
Well, listen, I'm all for making a difference, and obviously this is something that, as you know, we've been affected by directly and stuff. But I just don't think it's having the impact that it was first thought out to do. I think they need to do something else. It's not a case of don't take the knee and just forget about it. But this symbol, I don't think has the impact that it had at the start. I think they've done it for so long now, and I just think, for me, it's worn off. I think it's almost like, you know, it's
cursory.
Yeah, it's just like it just has no impact anymore. When I see it, it's just like, you know what I mean? What are we still doing it for? You know, some of the players just let me take it. Even some of the players themselves aren't doing it anymore. You know, standing up. So for me,
you know what? I've got to agree with you, bro. You know, let's face it. The whole taking the knee, the concept of that was introduced in the aftermath of what happened to George Floyd. They've been taking the knee in football now in this country since June 2020. So that's, you know, just over 2 years now. And like you said, man, it's run its course. It's not having that desired impact anymore, in my opinion. And I would humbly suggest that it should be dropped. And like you said, just because they drop it doesn't mean they can't introduce something else. You know, get their thinking hats on, come up with something else symbolic, and keep the narrative, but just change the action.
Yeah, agree.
I do think that it's. Don't get me wrong, I welcomed it at the time, but as you said, Curtis, I think it's run its course. The impact's been lessened, so it's probably time to move on from
Definitely.
it. But hey, what do you guys think? Let us know. I'm sure you will. Okay then, moving on from the news and notes. Let's talk about Arsenal's last pre-season game, which took place at the weekend, a game that you attended.
Yeah.
It was the last of 7, I think it was. Emirates Cup game against the mighty Sevilla of Spain. 6-0 win.
Yeah.
Hat-trick by Gabriel Jesus. He's fast becoming a bit of a icon already, although maybe I'm speaking too soon. Premier League's not started yet. Saka got a couple of goals, and your friend Eddie, you called him, right? And he delivered. Yeah, so that was their 7th pre-season game. And, you know, it has to be said that it's been quite a successful one. 7 games, 6 wins, 1 defeat. That one was behind closed doors, Brentford. 2 Brentford, sorry. Goals scored 26, goals conceded 7. So, got to say that that's a good return, isn't it? You was at the game, bro. Tell the people, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, it was a great way to end pre-season. The game was basically over after 30 minutes. Seville looked like they wanted to just go to the airport and fly off.
They look like they'd rather be anywhere else in the world.
Anyway, listen, I think you've got to give credit to Arsenal because Seville, they finished 4th, I believe, last year in La Liga. They're not no mugs. I know they're a little bit behind because I think their season starts a week or 2 later than ours, so we're probably a little bit sharper than them. But it was a fantastic performance. You know, we took our chances, we pressed. Something that I've noticed this pre-season is the high energy, the high tempo. We're making it very difficult for teams to play against us. I thought Saliba again was quality. I thought Jesus was obviously standout player with his hat-trick, and you try not to get too carried away because you're thinking, you know, it's only pre-season, but you at the same time, you want to see them performing like that. So,
absolutely.
Listen, everything's in place for us to start the season well. I thought it was another great performance. Probably with the Chelsea game.
Yeah.
That was the best performance of pre-season.
Yeah, I would say so. It seemed like there was a lot of people there, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting because the game was sold out everywhere online. You couldn't get a ticket, but there was quite a few empty seats. I think there was a tube strike. So I think a lot of people struggled to get there. But but it was pretty full. And
the atmosphere seemed quite lively.
Yeah, it was decent. It was decent, I think people are enthused by Arsenal this year. I think people feel, you know, a bit rejuvenated and
definitely.
Nice kits, a few good players, good vibes, you know. You just got to take it into that Palace game.
No, man, you're right. I mean, listen, it is only pre-season, but to me, and I'm sure you feel the same way, pre-season is a very important part of the season for a number of reasons. And it's not just always about results, but it's about a chance to look at the players' formations and stuff like that and assess how the team is gelling, how the new signings are gelling. And I think on all of those fronts, it seems to be going well.
Yeah.
And it seems to be the perfect sort of segue into the season.
Yeah.
Does it not?
And the positive thing as well, you look at still no Tierney, no Tomiyasu, no Vieira, and no Smith Rowe. So that's 4 players that, you know, first team players who you think could still impact this team as well. And obviously, hopefully, a couple of more signings I would like to see come in as well. So it's looking good at the moment.
It is. The vibes are good.
Yeah.
And you speak to fans. I've been speaking to fans online and in the street and speaking to people like yourselves, influencers, and everybody I've spoken to says that, you know, with the pre-season we've had, which is the best it's been for a number of years in terms of pre-season, the vibes, the energy, everything is pointing towards having a decent start to the season.
Yeah.
Would you not say that?
Yeah. But it's just, you still have that little bit of concern that, you know, if you have one bad result, pre-season flies out the window.
It means that doesn't mean that much.
It goes out the window. Yeah. So, well, listen, for me, I would say it's one of the best pre-seasons we've had in years, to be honest.
Definitely. So, certainly better than last year.
Last
season. And Which segues nicely, bro, into our Ops of the Week.
Yeah, it's back.
It's back. Football is back. The Premier League is back. This Friday, the curtain raiser of the season, London Derby. Arsenal away at Crystal Palace. Always a big game, always a tough game. But this game in particular, man, I'm really looking forward to it. Like we just said, we've had an excellent pre-season. Has to be said, Palace have had a decent pre-season as well. I've been checking on their stats. So listen, man, I'm really looking forward to this game. Last year, we lost our opening game in the season to Brentford.
Yeah.
In disappointing circumstances. We just didn't get going at all. And it has to be said, it took us a while to recover from that, innit? They went on to lose their next two, and it was a bit of a doom and gloom for a couple of months, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this game immensely. And as I said, we've had a great pre-season, but it has to be said that Crystal Palace have had a decent pre-season as well. They've had 9 games in their pre-season as opposed to our 7. 5 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses. So they're coming into this in a bit of form. And some of their major players are looking good.
Yeah.
Zaha is a name that's synonymous with Arsenal fans. He's been on fire apparently in their pre-season. Eze's look good. Elise's look good. They won't have Conor Gallagher this season.
Yeah, back at Chelsea.
So yeah, he's back at Chelsea. But yeah, man. And like I said, Palace are always a stiff test for us. I think I saw a stat the other day where they said they've only lost 1 game to Arsenal in their last 8 Premier League games, something like that. So
hard game.
It's going to be a hard game, bro. What's your thoughts on the game?
I mean, for me,
What's your initial
I would say outside of what you would call the big 6 teams in the Premier League, I think Palace away is one of the toughest games that you could get. You look at last season, we drew at home with them, late equaliser, Lacazette. We got fairly battered away from home, if we're being honest. I think the thing with Palace as well is they can physically bully you as well. Got a lot of big, strong, aggressive players. I think Arsenal really need to change the narrative with this game. I think if they can win this game, it kind of shows that we've turned a little bit of a corner. You know, we can go to Palace and we can physically deal with them as well as out-football them. Because the reality is we're a better team than Palace. But it's about handling what they've got, and sometimes we can't cope with it. You look at that game last year, though. Nuno played at left-back. He struggled in that game. Thomas Partey came off injured, and we didn't have that much up front at the time. We were struggling to score goals at the top of the pitch. You look now, you know, Zinchenko's at left back, Partey is playing in the middle, and you've got Jesus up top, who's had a great pre-season. So if I'm Arteta, I'm going into this game thinking we've got to win this game, and if we play well, I think we'll beat them. Actually,
that's a good point you make there. Is it a question of we've got to win, or is it we must not lose? Because although, you know what I mean, it may not sound, you know what I mean, too dissimilar, but there is quite a difference in approach there. Let me just kick things off by saying, what kind of team would you like to see? You've spoken about some of the guys that may not play.
Yeah.
Although they've been injured in the pre-season, I think they're now back in training. Tomiyasu, Kieran Tierney, Fabio Vieira. Who's the other one? Smith Rowe, yeah. So all those are like established players, apart from Vieira, but you know the other 3 established players that probably would have played or played some part in the game. Who would you like to see take the field?
I think the team pretty much picks itself. The only one that I would have questioned is the Ben White at right back.
Well, let's go through from the top. In goal.
Yeah, Ramsdale's in goal. Left back for me, I think you've got to stick with Zinchenko.
Yeah.
Tierney hasn't played enough pre-season. I think Zinchenko looked very good there the other day.
And obviously Nuno's not here.
Not here. So centre back, I think you've got to go Gabriel and Saliba. They've been the solid partnership. I know Ben White's the 50 million man, but you know, I don't think you can change that partnership until something happens.
I wouldn't.
No, I think you've got to stick with it. But I do think Ben White will play at right back. Because Tomiyasu, again, I don't think he's played any pre-season game, so I don't see how he can just come back.
Especially against a high energy, like you said, physical side like Palace. I'm not sure it would be the wise thing to do to bring him straight back in. He will come back at some point, I've no doubt. And at that point, that's when the manager has decisions to make. Because we've said Saliba, you know what I mean, the word Rolls Royce has been accompanied every time you mention his name.
Yeah.
So he looks good, but Ben White is also a quality player and is also one of the manager's big signings from last season. So, you know what I mean? But anyway, for this weekend, like you said, Ben White, midfield.
Yeah, again, I think it picks itself. It's going to be Partey and Xhaka.
Say again?
There it goes.
Picks itself.
Until further
Xhaka.
notice.
I mean, like, you know what I mean?
Listen,
then he's going to be moaning and say he shouldn't have played.
Well, we ain't got no better option. You know what I mean? So, those two. And then I think Odegaard will be in the 10. Obviously, captain. Been announced as captain for the season.
You happy with that?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I look through the Arsenal team. I don't think there's many obvious selections. I mean, I don't know. It's a time will tell one for me, Odegaard. The type of captain I like is not the type of captain that I see Odegaard as.
I wouldn't see him as a Adams or even a Vieira.
Yeah.
But, you know,
there aren't many
he can make his own mark.
Yeah, there aren't many of them around, are there? So,
he does captain Norway, so...
Yeah, he's Norway captain. And I think Saka and Martinelli out wide. They both look lively pre-season.
Yeah, they did.
Very sharp, scoring goals. And then the main man up top.
The main man,
Mr. Gabriel Jesus. He needs to carry that form into the season because, you know, again, as a striker, I've been there. You bang goals pre-season, but once the season starts, that's when it really matters. So,
and I would say, I mean, you know, this could get clipped and could come back to bite me in the bum, but I would say that if you look at Palace's team, I think that we can get at them defensively.
Yeah,
Would you not say that?
No, I'd agree. They got some good players, but they do concede goals.
Yeah, they do.
The goalkeeper's not amazing. I think they haven't really signed. I think they've only signed one player, and like you said, they've lost Gallagher as well. So they've got to be got. I think we need to score first. Go there, score first, turn it around on them a little bit. Because you know what? Palace are very lively. Selhurst is a lively, probably one of the loudest.
Yeah,
if they go 1-0 up.
Yeah, I think they are, most definitely. They got the Palace Ultras and that. And like I said previously, this is a curtain raiser. First game of the season. It's a London derby. The eyes of the world will be on this game. Yeah. And, you know what I mean, it's a massive game. Yeah. And they will be up for it. And Palace... they're high energy at the best of times, so you can imagine, man, it's probably going to go through the roof on this game. So a good start is important. And that's why I was interested in your thoughts on Arsenal's approach when I was talking about, is it a must-win game or a must-not-lose game? And I'm kind of caught between the two stools, really, because yes, we've got to match them in terms of energy and passion and commitment and all the work ethic and all the rest of it, but we also got to keep it, you know what I mean, quite calm. Try and take the sting out of it a little bit. Yeah. Because the one thing you don't want to do at Palace is concede early. Yeah. And give them even more confidence. You know what I mean? What you want to try and do is take that confidence away, minimise the crowd and go from there, surely. Yeah.
It's a good question, to be fair. I think losing would be a bit of a mini disaster for us. When you've had that pre-season and then to go and get beat, you'd be, and because you're playing first, you've then got to watch everybody else go and win games over the weekend while you've lost. So,
and dare I say it, there's going to be deja vu, isn't it? Yeah. It's going to be, here they go again. We lost to Brentford last season, and you know what I mean. And then it's that negativity creeps in. So, for all intents and purposes, man, this is a massive game. You know
I would say, without sounding unambitious, I'd say a draw would not be terrible. Yeah. When you look at the next 4 fixtures, we've got a couple of home games, couple of promoted teams. I think they're very winnable. Obviously, I want Arsenal to win. I think we can win, but a draw would not be a terrible result.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I mean, it's a long season, and your first game is away against a team that are very good at home and have got a good record against us. So if you go there and you avoid defeat, you get a draw. As long as it's not one of those draws where you're like 2-3-0 up.
And you concede last minute. Then
then that puts a little bit of a downer on it.
You know
but if it's a well-contested draw, I'll take that. I hope that doesn't come across as too negative. I'm just keeping it 100. Palace are a decent side. Yeah. And of course the Vieira effect. Yeah. Good manager. And it seems like the players really are playing for him. And it's not going to be easy at all, man. So your first team, you've said, and like you said, the approach has to be positive, but without, trying to cut out the unforced errors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on the game?
Listen, I think it's obvious when you play them, you've got to keep Zaha quiet for one. But like you said, Eze's back as well. He didn't play against us last year. He's a good player as well. I think we actually released him as a youngster at Arsenal, so he's going to be fired up
even more
from the get-go, isn't he? You know what I mean? Elise, he was a good player as well.
I like the look of him, bro.
You've got to keep those three quiet. Obviously, that Mateta turned into like prime Drogba against us last year, so we've got to keep him quiet as well. But
mind you, even when Benteke plays for them, he's prime Drogba.
We've got to have it, haven't we?
It's funny that you say that, right? But there's no mistaking about it, right? Players will raise their game when they're playing Arsenal.
Yeah.
They just absolutely do. How many times have we played teams where they'll have a striker or one of their senior players and he's going for a bit of a drought and then all of a sudden Arsenal rock up and then, you know what I mean, he's broke his goal scoring drive, runs over doing that.
20 minutes in,
you know what I mean?
Do you know what it is though? That's what I'm saying. I think we need to change that narrative. I think before we've had Mustafis and people like that in defence where they'll make mistakes and give you it. I think with Gabriel and Saliba, we have to show them that we're not that team anymore. We're not just going to give you goals. We're not going to give you easy chances. And you know what? For all the praise I've given Saliba this pre-season, this is going to be a real welcome to the Premier League game for him. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Lively atmosphere, Zaha and them man running at you. This ain't pre-season no more. So
we're about to find out just how good he is. That being said, if it doesn't quite go right for him, I'm not going to write him off because it's his first game. And let's face it, Zaha is amongst the better players in the Premier League, especially on his day. He's virtually unplayable.
He is.
So, you know what I mean? It's going to be a stiff test for him. One I'm sure he's looking forward to.
Yeah, it's a good challenge. I mean?
And it's interesting, I saw some comments attributed to Roy Keane today. I don't know if you saw them, where he was basically writing Arsenal off and saying that we won't get Champions League. And he says we're a bit soft at the back with Ben White and Gabriel. What was your thoughts on that?
I mean, that's the first time I've heard that. I mean...
Listen, all I can say to Roy Keane is if you're calling Gabriel soft, I don't know, man.
I think that's one thing you wouldn't put to. Sometimes he's too aggressive, if anything. So
I tell you, in a street fight, I'd fancy Gabriel over most centre-backs in the Premier League.
He's about that
all day long.
Yeah, so, listen, I think Roy Keane's just trying to rattle feathers before the season. Yeah, he needs to concentrate on United, mate. You know what I mean? Ronaldo's trying to escape and all that, so don't worry about us. Let us...
Sounded like a clout chasing move to me.
Leave him. Vieira was always better than Keane.
And Ben White, listen, man, Ben White, I think people can misconstrue things, man. They get it twisted. They say a guy, he's got his tats, he looks like he's been under the tan, you know what I mean, under the sunbed and stuff like that. But he's a good player. He's a quality player.
Decent player,
Maybe hasn't quite lived up to the hype. But then there's a lot of pressure coming on him, you know what I mean? His so-called English tax, 50 mil. He's, you know what I mean, he's an international defender.
I mean, listen, Ben White for me...
Might be on the plane, don't you think?
He might be. Listen, for 50 mil, I think we overpaid a little bit. But for his first season, he wasn't bad. He had a decent season. It's just sometimes the price tag you expect even more. But I think, this season as well with Saliba, I think when you've got real competition, it should lift your game even higher. So I think he'll have a better season this season.
Definitely. Like you said, I didn't remember any real car crash games.
No.
I think what it is, when you're a player of that ilk, you come into a club like Arsenal, like we said, the English tax, the fee and everything else, you're going to get scrutinised at every single point of the game. And if you have made a few errors or if you've not quite been on it, people are going to draw that out, man. So, I'm confident that he'll have a good season.
He's still got time. I think he's only early 20s, he's got plenty of time to develop.
Absolutely. And I'm looking at that back line, especially with the inclusion of Saliba. I'm looking at him and Gabriel. I'm looking at the fullback options we got, Zinchenko, Tierney, Tomiyasu, people like that. That back line looks solid to me, bro.
I have to say, Zinchenko, watching him these last couple of games. I think he's going to be a really good player for us.
Yeah.
He's very different to Kieran Tierney. Like they're almost a total opposite. He kind of steps into midfield when we have the ball. He plays some long passes. You know, you can tell that Pep's coached him. I think he's a really good option for us there.
Well, it's funny you should say that about midfield, because I read somewhere where he had said previously that midfield is his preferred position.
Yeah, it's his natural position.
Yeah. So I think he does play there for Ukraine, doesn't he?
Captains them.
Yeah. So
it'd be interesting when Tierney's back. If he goes into left back, then what happens? Does Zinchenko go into midfield? So
good point. And of course, got the main man up top, Jesus.
Oh. It's
time for him to shine.
Do you know what it is with him? I feel like at Arsenal, even growing up, like we've always had a bit of a hero up front. You know, it was like Wrighty and then Omri, Bergkamp. It's gone all the way through. I feel like it's just waiting for someone to grab that, and I feel like he can be that guy. I feel like he's a caged animal that's just been released and into the wild. He looks like he's been at Arsenal for years. The way he plays. So,
and you know what? I'm looking at him, and this struck me on Saturday when I was watching him against Sevilla. He scored the hat-trick. It's not just the goals and the way he took some of the goals. It's that style of play, that panache. Dare I say it, that je ne sais quoi that he's got, man.
That va-va-voom.
Yeah.
You know?
He looks like a guy that's embraced being the main man. And then, you know what I mean? He's got that weight on his shoulders and he's happy to, you know what I mean? He just looks like he's enjoying it. Looks like he's happy to be the main guy. And I think that's going to be a tremendous sign.
Yeah, I think he's
regardless of what happens against Palace, I'm still confident that he's going to bag plenty of goals.
He's got that feeling of, listen, I'm the main man. I'm at a big club. Like, no disrespect to Man City. They're a better team than us right now, but we're a bigger club than them. We've got a huge fan base, and I just think he's really embracing what we're about. And, you know, the World Cups this year, I want to get in that team for Brazil, so if he bags goals for us, then
I'm confident he will, bro.
Like I said in my fan cam, I think if he stays injury-free,
20 plus?
I think there's 20 plus there.
In the Premier League or
I'm
comps?
going Prem.
All comps.
I started off all comps, right? But I've seen enough, right?
You've seen enough.
He's going to be making a lot of phone calls this season, I'm telling you. I'm going for 20 league goals.
No, but you know what? I'm backing you on that, bro.
Man.
The guy's energy, the whole body language about him, the whole persona, and I'm going to say this as well. He looks like he's lifting the others around him. Eddie looks better, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see. I'm sure Eddie will get some minutes if he don't start.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure Eddie will be up for it, man. But yeah, that kind of leads me nicely into that time, man. Prediction time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've done all the talking. We've done the build-up.
Yeah.
We said it's going to be a great game. I'm sure it's going to be a great game, by the way. I'll be very surprised if it's not an entertaining game. But yeah, your prediction. Stick your neck out, bro.
I'm going to go for the...
But I want you to be honest as well. Don't just say things for the sake of saying
No, I'm not doing that.
We like to keep it real on this show.
I think we'll get a tight victory. I'm going to go for 2-1. I think Palace will trouble us a little bit first game, a lot of energy. But I think we'll just about beat them. I think with no Gallagher, I think was a big player for them last year. One of their players of the season. And I just think we're a little bit stronger than we were last year. I think Zinchenko, Partey's there, Jesus there. I think we'll have a little bit too much for him. So I'm going for a 2-1 win. Tight victory. Interesting.
You know what? I'm going to go one more than that, bro. Yeah. I'm going to go for a 3-1 win.
Okay, I like it.
But 3-1, when I say 3-1, I don't mean it's going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's going to be a tightly contested game. We might even concede first. It might be one of those where you go into half-time or either 1-0 down or it's 1-0 and it's tight. But I reckon that extra bit of quality that we got throughout the team. I mean, don't get me wrong, like we said, Palace have got some excellent players.
Yeah.
And they'll be up for it. But I just think that the way the pre-season's gone, the energy we got right now, the fact that, you know what I mean, it all seems to be coming together. I just can't see past an Arsenal win, man.
No.
And I think that we look like we got goals in the team.
Definitely.
So yeah, man. You've gone 2-1, I've gone 3-1. What do you guys think? What are you saying? You know what I mean? I'm sure it's going to be a great game, though. One that's going to live up to the billing of the...
Another thing, obviously the 5 substitutes. And I think we've got a better bench than them. You've got Smith Rowe, Pepe and Ketia, you know, Lakonga. You've got players like that you can bring on. I think we've got people that can change the game, get us a goal there. So Be interesting how the
I mean, I might
substitutes-
be in a minority, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what Pepe can bring to the table.
I don't. Do you know what?
I know I'm in a minority.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure he'll have much longer to bring anything to the table because.
Well, it looks like he won't be going anywhere anytime soon, doesn't it?
Well, no one's.
And that's probably by default. I do agree.
Yeah.
But he said he's on the record as saying that he's worked harder than he's done in a long time. He feels confident. He wants to be given a chance. And I think if the manager's smart, I think you sort of call his bluff. You say, listen, man, you told me that, you know what I mean, you're about that life.
Let's see.
There
if
you go.
Do you
Here's
know
20 minutes.
Interesting?
Let's see what you can do.
It'll be interesting if he doesn't get a move. What happens with him? Because I
Yeah,
think in the background, Arsenal are open to offers.
Oh, yeah.
But if he doesn't get a decent offer, then what do you do with him? Because you don't want to sell him for absolute peanuts. So do you then keep him, put your arm around him and say, listen, man, this is your last chance.
Exactly.
You've got Europa League as well. You've got to show something this year. It'd be interesting.
And Eddie as well, I think he's looking... I've noticed that, I think it was you was telling me that he's bulked up.
Definitely looks stronger.
Looks stronger. The energy about him looks good, as it does with the whole team. So listen, man, I'm confident.
Yeah, listen, even Eddie, like, you know, I haven't always been his biggest fan, but he's had a very good pre-season. I think he's with Jesus, who was our top scorer. So again, the energy's good. Take that into the season. And let's hope we start well, man. I'll be a little bit nervous watching that game because it's, you know, everyone's going to be
watching. Real flat, man.
Yeah, this show could be real different next week. I might not wear my Arsenal shirt because, you know, I don't want to be ripping it that early in the season. But nah, listen, let's hope we can start.
No, but we've got to go on what we've seen, innit?
Yeah, listen.
And what we've seen in the lead up to the first game has been pretty much all positive.
Yeah.
And like I said, the new signings have come in already. They seem to be having an effect.
Yeah.
And the vibe is good. And I just can't see us losing.
No, I can't.
And I can see us winning. So, but hey, it's one thing saying it, but they've got to go out on the pitch and do it.
Yeah.
But we're coming to the end of the show, bro. Anything you want to say in closing?
No, listen, looking forward to the game, start of the new season. I think there's a lot of hope, a lot of optimism amongst the fan base. You know, even myself, you know, the way last season finished and the way I felt to now, you know, it's a lot different. So hopefully a good season, and, you know, we have another good season on this show as well.
I'm with you, bro. You doing a watch along for the game?
Yeah, I'll be doing a watch along for that Friday
Check that
night.
out.
Yeah,
also,
man.
check out the AFTV watch along. I should be on that. I might do some stuff with you after the game as well.
We'll get back on that.
Yeah, let's chop it up, man.
Yeah, you and Fran afterwards.
Shout out to Fran. We're going to try and get Fran back on soon.
Yeah,
actually. Might even try and get him on for next week.
Yeah.
Shout out to Fran. Shout out to you guys, man, for supporting the show. Keep watching, keep supporting, keep the show interactive. Let us know on the things we talked about today. Are you happy with the pre-season? Should be. Do you think that the pre-season is significant insofar as us going to Palace and getting a result? Do you think we can get a result? Is it a must win or a must not lose? Do you think we can win? If so, by how many? You've heard what me and Curtis have had to say. Keep watching, keep supporting, and we'll see you next week.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.